Yesterday was the 23rd day of this World Cup and it took 23 days to light up this World Cup. Yesterday's match between Pakistan versus South Africa was a nail biter. The whole of India was glued to the television screen. Not the whole of India, but Hotstar said it was around 2.2 crores, but it's okay. It's a big number when the host nation is not playing. The point is, Pakistan has lost, number one. Number two, South Africa has proven that they are not going to choke this time. The more important and the raging debate that came out of the match was DRS. And players like Harbhajan Singh was very vocal about the use of DRS and the nuances about it. But what I'm curious about was the silence of Anil Kumble on the matter. Because from looking from an Indian perspective, it was Anil Kumble who had stood for DRS to come up with greater precision, and that is the reason why India has taken considerate amount of time to adopt DRS. Remember those Steve Buckner dismissals of Tendulkar? It was not the bowler who dismissed Tendulkar, but it was the umpire who had dismissed Tendulkar, and we all still carry that pain in our heart. Now, let me take you to a very particular moment in that match. Harish Rauf was bowling and Gidi was batting, and Harish Rauf bowled a ball, took one of the best caught and bowled dismissal, at least in World Cup history, and definitely in Pakistan's cricketing history. And after that ball, Harish Rauf goes back to his mark and runs into bowl to Samji, number 11 batsman of the South African team. And Harish Rauf goes to the corner of the crease and fires a cannon that pitches within the stumps and goes on to hit the pads of Samji. The whole of stadium erupted, thinking that it was as plumb as it gets. At that time, I was listening to Hindi commentary, and Mohammad Kaif was like, that is a definite out. There is no way DRS is going to falter, because the conversation around DRS had already started because of that Venderson dismissal earlier in the match. The umpire stood his ground and did not give it an out on ground, to which Babar Azam had referred it upstairs. Now, what happened is DRS showed the ball was just clipping the leg stump. And if the ball is not hitting the stump halfway, then it is given as not out or umpire's call. And the decision was favored to umpire's call. And that DRS failure, if I may say so, had crushed Pakistan before the eventual loss. Babar Azam had used all his resources by then. He did not trust Usama Mir enough and handed over the ball to a left-arm spinner who could not bowl according to the field, and bowled Maharaj a ball on the leg stump, which Maharaj helped himself to earn the victory and effectively removing the tag of chokers from the South African middle name. Now, coming on to today's match, the first was between Australia and New Zealand. That match happened in Dharamshala. When I tuned into that match, the match was already in the 5th over, and Warner and his new opening partner Travis Head had already gone off to a flying start. And from that start, with mid-March to come on, Glenn Maxwell in that form, we all assumed that it was doomsday for New Zealand and there is no way they could make a match out of it. At the end of the match, we all saw how tight a game it was and what a find Rachin Ravindran has been for the New Zealand side and for cricket in general. David Warner has missed his century, but Travis Head scored a brilliant century today. And the whole of Australia batted, and they batted with such glee and confidence and that cocky arrogance typical to the Australian, then which propelled them to a score of nearly 400 runs. And by that time, by the mid-innings, we all thought that New Zealand is done over in this match and there is no point watching. But somewhere deep down, we all wanted this World Cup and this Trans-Tasmanian rivalry to light up this World Cup, and that too in Dharamshala. It's a small ground, and if you have closely watched the first innings, you would know that the ball was gripping. It was a slow pitch, and if you bowl slow in that pitch, then it would do wonders for you. At least the stroke making was not that easy in this pitch. New Zealand almost chased down. There is something about Jimmy Neesham and how he had almost left cricket and comes back, and after his comeback he had to face that ball in 2019 World Cup final super over, and today also he was the one fighting it out for New Zealand to win the game in the last over ball by Mitchell Starc. Yes, he got run out, but there were clearly three balls in the slot which he could have deposited in the mid-wicket stand in Dharamshala, but he failed to do so, and he ended up taking 2 runs, and by the third he got run out, and that helped Australia win the match. What was exceptional about this match was what a matchup of performance. No team backing down. Cricket World Cup deserves such match between such intense rivals. And this match had lit up the World Cup. Since today was a double header, so second match was between Netherlands and Bangladesh. So Netherlands had a giant killing performance in this World Cup, and after that they had lost to Afghanistan, and today they had that opportunity to come back and show that that win against the English was not a flash in the pan, and they are a substantial side to reckon with, and they stood up to that name, and they had defeated Bangladesh comprehensively. And it was a sight to behold when a team with such lesser resources comes up through the ranks and through the qualifying tournaments and effectively wins matches against established test playing nations. Wins such as these by such smaller nations in terms of cricketing parlance goes a long way to take that game forward to newer regions. And tomorrow we have that massive game between India and England, and let's see how we play in absence of Hardik Pandya. I think Ashwin will come in. He had an extended nets today, as I've learned from the internet, and let's see if Ashwin plays or not. I still believe Ashwin is a very, very important cog in the wheel for India's fortune in this World Cup. For him to find a place in the playing 11 is of paramount importance, not only for him but also the team. Thank you. That was the video. Bye bye.